So I've made it out and about, and I'm going to take the 10 minutes whilst I'm on the road just to share my thoughts from the NetSuite WMS session. So it was presented by the principal consultants for WMS at NetSuite, and the aim of this session was really to overview the NetSuite WMS functionality. The team is still really frank about what it does and what it doesn't do. I think that's really refreshing and also pretty critical for WMS, because obviously if it doesn't do something, then the operations team are going to find out and things aren't going to go out the door, and it's going to cause a hell of a lot of pain. So I think there's maybe been some lessons learned from WMS Advanced, which was killed off by Oracle shortly after the takeover, and kind of as a knock-on effect of that, they've really been thinking about the NetSuite WMS positioning. And it looks like what they've decided to do is move WMS Lite from being that entry-level product and really badge advanced inventory as the kind of entry point if you're going to run a WMS with NetSuite. And then kind of the second phase on from that is the introduction of what they've now called NetSuite WMS. So they've dropped the Lite, which is obviously quite important in terms of positioning. And in fairness, they've got some quite large warehouses operating using the system. In terms of what they've got coming, it looks like they're adding in some of the functionality that's kind of glaringly missing. I know units of measure, for example, the ability to receive by eaches, pallets or cases, that's being added in. But then kind of the next step to that, something like composite barcodes, that's somewhere in the future. So there's a few things coming like that, and they're obviously listening to their customers and trying to get that user feedback and building it back into the roadmap. And it seems to me like things are progressing well. There's a new announcement, possibly something around the UI in the keynote this morning, so keeping my eyes on that as to whether that will have any impact on the WMS's usability, the ease of use for the people actually in the warehouse, or even for the mobile handheld piece. So let's see. And then in addition to that, they've kind of introduced the company that Oracle acquired, Logfire. They're a cloud-based WMS. They're not, from my understanding of the product, it wasn't a SaaS product. It was just a cloud-based WMS. They had about 45 big clients, and they made some good strategic moves integrating with Oracle's transport management system, and they were acquired a couple of years ago, I think. So that's now been brought in, and the idea is that that's going to be available to the NetSuite direct sales team, kind of giving them a three-tier WMS offering of kind of advanced inventory, NetSuite WMS kind of moving into the middle, and Oracle Cloud WMS coming in at the top. I think from our perspective, we're obviously quite specifically focused on e-commerce, although we can handle retail and wholesale requirements. The way that NetSuite WMS has been moved into that middle slot suggests that perhaps there's a lot more room in that middle for partners like us. And obviously there's, the way you do it is as important with WMS as what you do. I think it's quite easy to kind of tick the feature functionality and say, yeah, we can handle these things. It's another thing to manage to implement it in an easy way and do it in such a way that people can actually deploy that functionality and get the most out of it. That's certainly been one of the hardest things for us building our own warehouse system. And I think the final thing I got from it was kind of again, this was just the way it was, that NetSuite ultimately are bringing the software, and the companies using it have got to bring about the change. And we know from our experiences, unless you're getting a really entry-level WMS, most clients need a lot of hand-holding. It's not just here's the software, turn it on and start using it. They need advice on how to change the configuration, how to barcode label products, how to lay out the warehouse, and it's a big transformation project, and you need some expertise alongside you to help with that. So it'll be interesting to see how that's addressed and whether the partner community picks up on it a lot. And there's a follow-up session on Oracle's WMS Cloud later today, so I'm going to go and have a look at that, and I'll let you know my thoughts. For now, I'm just going to get some freshish air on the strip in Las Vegas. See you later.